Hi, welcome back. Hi, Hypnicity. Wawa Nui, Randy. Okay, you've got a massive headache working today. Scooch this up a little bit there. I just feel like I make people seasick with that. Anyways, Wawa Nui, everybody. Wa, Lemurian principle of first love. Wawa, much love. Wawa Nui, much love, everybody. And look who came from my backyard. I had another beautiful rose that I just wanted to share to everybody. Get up and go. Yeah, you get up and go. Got up and went, huh? Uh, I, you know, Sunday I had like the worst headache. It wasn't even just a headache, it was an energy attack. And I got to be quite blunt. I had such a difficult time with that. To begin with, I had too much caffeine that day, and then it just kind of spiraled. So I get it. And so grounding was really the biggie that I used. Hello, Huna Hamanisa. Wawa Nui. Hi, Paul. Seeing all the angels. You are absolutely, this is really wonderful. Go, Paul. Yay. Yes, all of the repeating numbers, they show you that you're on the right track. And I'm just showing the rose because there's a lot of light codes that come from roses. And some of the light codes have already disappeared from this one, but whenever I fresh picked her, it was pretty impressive. Well, we're going to show Dane Donaldson's. This is Wawa Nui, which we just said. And hello, Crystal Ascension. What a beautiful name. And Huna Hamanisa is sharing her Huna essence, which is a light code in its own right, which is why I usually share my own as well. But yes, Paul, you're absolutely on the right track. So I'm going to park my little rose. Everybody's seen the light codes from her. Beautiful, beautiful. So what I want to do today is I'm going to get everybody on the same page. Yes, beautiful. Okay, great. So energetically speaking, I wanted to get everybody on the same page, and we're going to start off with just a little bit of shared information for this is the birth month of Kaka. And so, of course, it is the essence of the voice. And hopefully my voice is coming through this week, and that keeps blipping out. So hopefully my computer held as well. But this is the talking parrot is this month, and it is also speaking to the sisterhood and the brotherhood. So our community. So we gather around and chat. So can't stay long. I will see the replay. Beautiful. Thank you so much for stopping by, Paul. You have a gorgeous week. Yep. And then continue. Yeah, absolutely. Keep doing what you're doing because this is perfect. Absolutely perfect. And this week, I'm actually going to be playing around. Jane Danielson, have you played at all with the Poata? I know that usually the Poata, when we speak to this is the slow rising pillar of light. And usually that is done silently because you are doing motions. It literally is very much like the haka. And so there are different poses that you will do with your staff, your toko, your talking staff. And so, but I did the other day, some of the undoing that we do with the Lemurian Light Codes is we run them backwards sometimes, or we will move them around in order to, great, in order to undo some of the sticky stuff that came down here. So we've just had 2 days of what is called an undistorted light. And that undistorted light came from the central sun in the Alkean belt. And so there are no filters on those 2 days or 3 days that goes into making up the 13th month that's called Ma'ita. Okay? So when it comes through the planet, you'll hear me talk about particular stargates that the undistorted light is coming through each month. And it comes through those stargates in order to create the essence that we get for everybody. It's not just those that are born in that birth month. It's for everybody that the essence comes through, and that's for the undistorted light. Now, keep in mind, we've had for thousands of years filters that have been put in place by 2D entities on the planet. And the reason, the purpose for this was to create confusion, to create muddleness, to create anger, aggression, fear, definitely all kinds of aches and pains in the bodies as well. And so by playing around with the Lemurian light codes, we're undoing some of those filters and collapsing some of those filters. So what we're going to do first is we're going to run through the harmonization, which Unifash used to call the line. And what this is going to do is just get everybody on the same page, energetically speaking. Yeah, it is really cool. It's kind of like collapsing everything around you. It can happen extremely fast. So you'll get a lot of advancement with your ascensions. And so it works on its own timetable. Some of the codes may make you energetic. Some of the codes can make you sleepy. So if you fall asleep, don't beat yourself up. That's what the replays are for. And so let's get started here with some of the codes. Codes. Tihe, ori, ora, mahaka watahi, ite ingawa, tito iri te ootawana, waiwatapukta. Ite ingawa, tefinui, trarani te katao, waiwatapukta. Ite ingawa, te whaia tamatua te tama, waiwatapukta. Tihe, ori, ora, ite ia. Ube o ube a il I ul o eb tana nu eb ma il I. Okay, now we're going to play around with what's called the poata. Again, like I said, normally this is done with a staff, and usually it looks very similar to the haka. Unfortunately, I am sitting in a room and there's no way I could redo those. So, but there are words that usually by this point you would be hearing me do that by starting off with hakata. However, I was playing with the codes a few days ago and I undid quite a lot. Now this may make you a little dizzy as we run through it, but I'm going to run through it backward, which kind of was what made me dizzy. So we're going to do 3 sets of this. And just see, I'm going to play around with this. I'm going to run it through backwards and then I'll run it through forward. And I like doing a set of 3 just to dislodge things. So let's start off with upo, taitu, takika, takima, hawatu, naro, kakika, kakima, tuma, potahi, toropa, hakta, hakta, toropa, potahi, tuma, kakima, kakika, naro, hawatu, takima, takika, daitu, tehu, upo, upo, daitu, takika, takima, hawatu, naro, kakika, kakima, tuma, potahi, toropa, hakata, hakata, toropa, potahi, tuma, kakima, kakika, naro, hawatu, takima, takika, taitu, tehu, upo. Okay, and I'm actually hearing we're not going to do the 3rd set this week. We're just going to leave it at that because I can already feel that energy moving, and that is considerably large energy. So I'm going to pause on that one. Welcome, Rush. How are you doing today? I'm only going to share one more thing, which I think might be beneficial to people. When I go through and you're hearing what's called the continuum, this is the code of Mahakawa Tahi Tawa Kahama. That is called the continuum because it's also considered there and back again. But what I'm going to explain right quick will be these are the first principles of the Lemurian Light Codes. Now, usually you'll hear me coaching that wa is the Lemurian sound for first love. But we're going to go through each one of these, okay? And yes, it should sound like baby talk because babies actually are closer to the veil than we are. So when they're first beginning to speak, they're actually speaking the pure source codes from the other side, which is really cool. So we have Ma is the Lemurian principle of first light. Ha will be the first breath. Ka is first birth, or also considered first form. Wa is first love. Ta is first stone. This speaks to the crystal, but it also has very many meanings to it as well. And then He is first fire. And by fire, we mean inspiration. Then you're in motion. You are moving your energy system. And it is setting your physical body then in motion. So from the silence and the stillness comes the sound. From the sound comes the form. From the form comes the love. From the love comes the stone. And then from the stone will come the fire. So we have Ma Ha Ka Wa Ta He Ta Wa Ka Ha Ma. There and back again. And that's probably enough Lemurian light coding for everybody. Hello, CJ. How are you doing this week? Okay, so I know that we had some trouble with some of the energy healing. So I thought, especially as Randy was struggling already with a headache, I would go ahead and get started. Wow. I'm actually hearing, let's get you guys started with the bubbles, which is what I actually have that on there right quick. We're going to bring in some of the light from above and below. Hope I didn't knock everybody out with all those codes already. That was quite a lot of coding. Okay, so what we're going to do is, as people, is just gently look up towards your third eye. It'll be a point in between your eyebrows, just above your eyebrows, right here in the center. So just look up at that and then just gently close your eyes. You can take a breath in if you want, but our important thing is you're going to see a dazzling white light coming from above, which is unusual because normally I do allow you to have colors, but this time it's just really powering in. And it's got to be dazzling. So it'll look sparkly. This one's coming in as a shimmery light, and it's bathing down and around your head. And we're going to open this column up. Usually we just kind of do a very small light shaft. But today I'd like you to ask that this actually opens up so that it's falling 10 feet all the way around you. Big sparkly codes. Beautiful, beautiful. And it's going to hold that space out there for you as this light comes in through the top of your head. And it's going to bathe through all through your brain, all through the tops of your sinuses, your teeth, all around the eyes, behind the eyes, base of the skull. Yep, just power washing it with this dazzling white light. All through the jaw, down through the throat, neck, top of the shoulders, bathing through the shoulders, going down through your arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, and out your fingertips, and it's going to go towards Mother Earth. Now this light is still bathing you from above, so it's going to come all the way through all of your chest space, all of your lungs, your heart, bathing right through the pericardium, the tiny little spaces that usually are in and around the lungs. If you need and it's supportive, you can also see this in shades of pink or green. Let it be whatever color it needs to be in here. And now we're going to push right through the diaphragm, all the way through all the spaces, just power washing all the way through the abdomen, power washing through the hips, power washing through the legs, the thighs, the knees, calves, shin, ankle, feet, into Mother Earth. Now Mother Earth is going to return up another shaft of light from below. This one can be whatever color it wants to be, and you're going to feel the energy actually bubbling up through your feet. And she's going to match the same size as that shaft of light coming from above. Allow it to be there, sparkly, sparkly, sparkly. And you can feel her energy bubbling up from beneath your feet, all the way through your ankles, up through your calves and shins, bubbling up through your knees, backs of the knees, fizzy bubbles all the way up the thighs, into your hips, lower abdomen, bubble, 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 fizzy, 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 all the way through the spine, pushing up through the abdomen, all the way up the abdomen, through the diaphragm, and into the chest, up into the heart space. So both of these lights are meeting in the heart space. It's going to form a bubble in your heart space. Now open that bubble up all the way around you. And at this point, you can let that bubble be whatever color it wants to be. I want you to maintain that shaft of light that we have going from above. And imagine yourself stepped into the bubble and then allow the bubble to be as big as it wants to be. You can feel it snick into place. Now today, what I want you to imagine is, instead of another bubble, have a huge wide shaft of light going from Mother Earth all the way up through you and into this light that's coming from the central sun, so that your bubble is protected and remains inside, completely safe and protected by this dazzling, bubbling light that's coming from above, and another light that's coming up from Mother Earth. Hey, Gray. Coming in here. Beautiful. Okay, now I'm going to allow you to come right on back in. And if you have an ache, like you've still got the headache thing going, I'll be right there doing some more of the energy. I'm still doing some of the energy healing right now. I saw Randy's got the headache thing. Hypnicity. I did add a little bit of extra energy boost for your hubby just now. So anybody that has heart troubles right now will be definitely getting some extra in here. And fizzy, fizzy, fizzy energy that you can use for some added energy and oof if you need. Hey, Carl, how you doing? We're going to switch slides here. Chirp a little caw as soon as I can find. There it is. Aha. Yes, because we're going to do some energy balancing here. Aren't they cute? A couple puppies at Cannon Beach. That's why I was asking if anybody had any extras. So I'm probably just going to do some chit chat while we do the energy balancing. And for anybody that's new here, I actually do energy balancing by just simply going over the meridians. And what I'm doing is, if you're sensitive to energy, you may actually be feeling me as I move around the body. If you do not feel me, do not worry. You cannot mess this up. You cannot do this wrong. What I'm using is quantum mechanics, and I'm actually reaching through the energy field. Hey, Utica. And I'm going to be going over all of the meridians of the body. And so I'm just going to be asking your meridians, and they will resonate and continue to flow exactly the same way. And so some of the aches and pains that we have created, this is, to begin with, this is only entertainment purposes, and it's to deal with the energy body or the light body, and it is called the meridians. That's rivers of energy in and around your body. And so what we find is, sometimes if there is congestions or stagnations, like your energy flow is just like a stream or river that, say, has a rock slide that fell into it, and suddenly you end up with a delta or a swamp. Yes, that's good. Okay. Shoulder will require more. Okay. Thanks for letting me know, Hypnicity. I'll add some extra oof to that whenever I go through. But all I was saying is, you don't have to worry about it. Your meridians, my energy system seems to be a little bit high today. My camera keeps getting blitz today, sleepy the whole day. Yeah, I had a sleepy patch a couple days back, and then I had some other things. Have you ever seen a floating violet sphere across you? Let me see. So I've seen it twice when I was waking up, like a purple dot, elongated blob. I protect myself with it, but it's supposed to be around. That's cool. Did you encourage this? Because a lot of times the violet flame, well, to begin with, we'll back it up by saying, as long as you feel safe and protected as that's happening, that's great. My guess would be that it's a representation of one of our 10th dimensional beings, and you're seeing them and interacting with them. Or you're working with the violet flame. Sometimes you'll see Saint Germain because he's connected to the violet flame. And what that purpose is for is it burns up. You can transmute or do alchemy with that. Goodness. Did I say? I said delta because gray. It's like a swamp. You know, like the delta that's down in the Gulf in Louisiana. So what'll happen is it will. Why the heck is it around and outside of me? Because it's not wrapping around me. That's funny, Carl. It's because it's actually moving around your body. We don't just have the meridians in our bodies. It's actually there are layers of. Well, I'll just say it. There's layers of stuff that we have as we move around our day, and we have a lot of emotional things that come up. And let's face it, if you're in the flow of your day and somebody's got a lot of congestion like snot around their head, yeah, it's exactly it. It's an aura. And so it's our energy body and our energy field that's around us. And you can feel it. Some people will simply call it our personal space. But what will happen is it will be you'll be so hurried that sometimes, well, to begin with, we do tend to shove a lot of things underneath our shoulder blades. We will take on a lot of stuff, especially that is not ours if you are an empathic person. But if your body is so full of stuff already, like you're in your fourth decade or you've been through a lot of things already, then you will begin stuffing it into your auric field around you. And so, Carl, what could be happening with that is it could be cleansing the extra stuff that you have just hanging out all the way around your body. And so just allow it as long as it's comfortable. If it's not startling, and you'll know the difference because physically you can feel it. They'll either make you feel happy, secure, safe while they're working on your light body. And sometimes you can feel the energy surges from it when they're working on you. But if it feels draining at all, shut it down and send it into the central sun. What's with the purple, the crown purple, and the number beside my name? Is it a badge? Carl, I'm not seeing anything. So it's conceivable that YouTube itself is maybe playing around with something. Maybe you have a filter or something because I'm not seeing a purple crown or a number. So I haven't monkeyed with any of my settings or anything. That's kind of cool. Right now I'm working on somebody's stomach. I've already gone through the shoulder blades, but somebody's got something going on with the stomach right now. So I'm just going to send a little bit of emergency to that right quick. And I did see some new YouTube thing. You can see a crown. That's interesting. Stomach. Okay, so Crystal Ascension has the stomach. I'm going to come up here to this collarbone because we still need to balance through the chest space and the heart. And the collarbone has to do with the long stomach burns, inflammation. Gray, I'm hearing news is causing inflammation. I don't know if that means you're watching traditional news or if you've received news, but something is, my stomach's feeling strange all day. Ooh, that was me last week. I had some cleansing come through. That was just out of the blue. colon. Okay, so some of this is inflammation. Some of this is and see, this is just it. The news cycle. You think that you're reading something. Cool. Okay, you think that you're reading something and it's not affecting you, but if you're not actually processing or throwing away, you can discharge those energies down towards Mother Earth. Go hug a tree, take a walk. Um, if you're not processing and removing those energies, it gets stuck in your body, which is why I'm doing the energy healing, because and it's a little bit of a misnomer, but what I'm doing is I'm opening up the energy channels in and around the body in order to get the energy flow going correctly again. Because if it gets pinched off and it just hangs out, then you end up with things like tummy burns or tummy feels weird or you feel imbalances or like this with a stiff neck. Carl, play with your feet again. You don't have to stomp them on the floor, but I'm hearing move your feet around, maybe rotate your feet or pat your feet. I know it sounds stupid, but your neck is actually connected to your feet as well. So sometimes our feet are out of alignment, and that will cause a pulling underneath the shoulder blades, top of the shoulder blades, like this part, and then it'll go up into the base of the skull, the TMJ, and also I've even had it go completely into the crown of the head as well. Hang on a second. Somebody's got, yeah. Somebody had some junk, so let's just get going here. Okay, no cats around my feet to scratch me this time. They do have a very hyper prey drive, don't they? Okay, cool. So let's go back up into the neck, the shoulders. I want to go through the shoulder blades a bit better. Someone's tummy had really kind of drug my attention over. But I want to do the energy there's a lot of congestion today. It's a little surprising, but we did do a lot of light codes to begin with, a lot of the Lemurian light codes. So it's possible that we're bringing all of this junk in and up in order for us to cleanse and clear, which is great because this we can do. You don't have to do it very much, Carl, with the feet. And one of the things that you can do is if you're laying on your bed, flat on your back, you can have it so that your toes are pointed towards your shins. If you were to ride a horse, it's heels down, which is 90% of what you hear whenever you're first starting off. But you put your heels down, your toes up. And what that does is that gives you a decent foundation. And just sit like that for just a few minutes and see if that creates a space in and around you. You may feel it unlocking after about a minute. Someone in need has actually got me fixated on the neck. So let me close my eyes for just a second. Moderators, please pay attention for me. And I will dive into this if I can. Just see if we can get that shifted off for people right quick. There we go. Okay, that's much better. That's fascinating. So I'm on the left-hand side under the left shoulder blade. We're just going to corkscrew off that energy for you. If you're having trouble with your hands, like your wrists and fingers hurt, or they feel numb, you may try just placing your hands up, palms up, and then just gently place them in lap. Wow, that's really cool. The badges say that we are top fans of your channel. That's so cool. I'm so glad you guys are getting rewards like that. That's neat. Yeah, I didn't know. That's cool. I'm really glad. How fun. Okay, I'm on the right-hand side now, the right shoulder blade, right neck, right shoulder blade, right side of the face. Right ear, right eustachian tube, Wow, it says it's giving us some sort of ranking, I guess. Huh. I can't see any of that right now. That's interesting. I'll have to go into YouTube later and see it. Huh. That's almost like a video game or something. It's like the more you guys interact or something. Huh. Now I'm having to go back up into the skull. The nice thing too is kind of like the puppies that you see, this actually is a universal meridian clearing. So it's not just for humans. So if your cats are around, or your puppies or your birds, or if you're out in the barn and you're cleaning something up and you've got it around your livestock, it's going to work for absolutely everybody. It's a universal clearing because the meridians are pretty much the same for every animal. Oh, someone's heart hurts. See if we can open up some channels around that. Cool. Yeah, thank you for that, Carl. I appreciate that. There we go. I'm just working around the heart space and the lungs right now. I'm using a green light in the lungs to just kind of sterilize everything. My guess is some people are in an area where it's either a challenge from, I'm hearing molds, although it could be this time of year. We also have some of the wildfires that are starting. That's always a challenge for the lungs. Great. Okay. If you can, go ahead and take in a nice deep breath. And if you can't, that's okay. What you can do to pretend or practice with the deeper breathing is later on, you can, like I encouraged Carl to do, just simply lay flat on your back if you can in the bed, and that will help to open up some of the spaces on your spine. And if you need, you can put like a couple of pillows or a stack of pillows behind your knees so that it's bent at the hip to be a little more comfortable for your lower back. Sometimes people will tell you to take a deep breath, and this is where we get some of our fear response with the diaphragm because it's connected to the pelvis and it's connected to our abdomens. And so if we are tight through our hips, if we are tight through those itty bitty muscles that keep us upright, what will happen then is it will cause a stiffening of the diaphragm because it's being pulled. And so we can't take a deep breath because that muscle is already under tension. So by laying flat on your back and giving yourself just a little bit of space, yeah, so much pressure. Yep. Carl, you can focus on your breath. I know that sounds very trite, but if you put your mind on counting your in breath for a count of 4, hold for a count of 2, and then out breath for a count of 6. Just keep bringing your mind back to that so that you can practice with the breathing. And like I said, if you're laying on your back in the bed, that kind of gives you more space for your diaphragm to be able to do the deeper breaths. But by counting the breaths, that allows your runaway brain to focus on something that is predictable and something that you actually do control. And that will help to drop away some of the rest of the stress and the pressure. When it comes back up, because of course it will, because we always freak out whenever we think of the outside world, bring your mind back to the breathing. Because what you're trying to do is you're trying to condition your body to relax with the breathing. And then that way, whenever you're upright, even if you can only do it for a minute or two, or even just a few seconds, you can even start off with just a few seconds of this. It will help to offload the stress from your nervous system. Quite a lot of you, at least we've got the congestion, that stagnant energy feels like it's going. Right now, I am underneath the diaphragm, the back side of the abdomen on the inside of the spine, space that usually doesn't get a lot of TLC. And we're just going to bring in some nice calming pink light to this area, show it some love today. And we're going to imagine golden rods going down through the lower back, dropping and descending from the back of the rib cage, so the thoracics, all the way down the channels, both sides of the spine. And these tubes of golden light are emanating, and you can hear a humming coming from them. And what that's doing is that's causing a resonance to go in and around all the muscles, all the way through, even into the little teeny tiny cells and the mitochondria in the cells, humming at a much higher divine frequency. What it's doing is it's reminding your body of the key codes that are already in your own DNA, bringing you back online. And now we're going to go down into the hip area. I'm going to come back to the abdomen. I'm going to place right now a temporary energy in that space while we work through the rest of the body. And then I'll come back through and we will work over the abdomen a little bit. But for now, what I'm doing is around the hips, the pelvis, the tailbone. Dogs always wag their tails. Yes. They're just delighted that they have something over a human, which is pretty funny. Remember to keep your pillar of light, that bubbly white light. I want to keep that diamond light going in and around you. Now we're going to work down around the outer thighs. That's a nice release. Going to the knees, outer calves, outer shins, ankles on the people. And for everybody else, it's going to be the hocks. So your dogs, kitties, horses, birds, birds are considered ankles, but everybody else is considered hocks. And we're going to get down through the feet. And out through the toes. We're going to spend just a little bit of extra time on the toes and on the feet today. Because sometimes whenever we are ungrounded, and some of this feels very ungrounded energy, this is where walking comes in handy, especially if you can walk barefoot or you just stand barefoot on the ground. But make sure that you can do it safely. As most of the Northern Hemisphere is in some version of summer, be sure to do it either in the morning before sunup or wait until extremely late at night so that you don't accidentally burn your feet. And we're going to focus a little bit on the toes, balls of the feet and the toes. Some of the joints feel really under duress. If you're having like a stabby, gravelly pain feeling in the toes, take a look over your what you ate within the last 24 hours or last 3 days. I'm Lorianne Singer. We're on the feet right now for our energy channels. We're focusing on the toes and the balls of the feet right now. But what you can do is look over your diet over the last 3 days. Sometimes something will pop into your awareness of, oh yeah, that probably is what's leading to. But start being a little bit of a sleuth. Sherlock Holmes your diet a little bit and see if there's something that may be causing it. My feet when going to bed. It might make you a lot more comfortable, Carl, because you're in a very tropical country. If it cools you, if it helps to cool you, that's why you'll be doing it. But sometimes the ache in the feet is, if it's not from an actual injury, can be diet related. And that'll be on you to, like I said, to put on your little hat and see, do some sleuthing. Yeah, I'll get a pain if I eat too much sugar. Same here. I had way too many potatoes, and then all of a sudden, I ended up with the stabby, stabby pains in my knees and my feet. It's like, aha. Usually, and that's where some of the diets. I think it's called an elimination diet, and you can find various elimination diets online. But it's part of a cleansing thing. But you can begin to do some ferreting and find out if one of your body aches and pains is connected to something that you've eaten or drank. Okay, now we're going to come up the inner feet, up through the inner ankles. And for those that have energy flows that have kind of been compromised a little here, we're just going to keep imagining Mother Earth pushing that energy up, up, up through your ankles. Bubble, bubble, bubble. She's got tons of energy that she's just really wanting to bubble up through you. It's always there. It's always constant. A true giving, divine feminine, no strings attached, loves you unconditionally. There we go. Perfect. Now it's just released and it's coming up through the inner legs, up through the inner calves. There's a ting point right underneath. You can feel it. It's a hollow right beneath the knees. This is one of the spleen points. So you're going to bring the energy up in and around the knees themselves. Behind the knees, you actually have some lymph glands as well. So sometimes it can be helpful to just do some gentle patting on that area in the mornings. You can pat there first. Maybe pat with your hands, just gently pat the backs of your knees. Well, say about 7 times. And then you can do the same patting motion in the crease of your groin. And that will help to stimulate your lymph. And now we're going to guide it all the way up with the energy, up through the thighs, up through your lap, and around. And now I'm going to address that tummy again. So yeah, we've already got some stuff coming up with the stomach and the liver. And I can feel that colon. Someone's appendix isn't very happy either. And yes, the spleen. There's a lot less this week on the spleen. So kudos to whoever's paying attention to your diet. I don't know who you are face to face, but you're doing a great job. Keep up the good work. And one of the really cool things is there's a meridian that's called triple heater. And what it does is it controls and balances the crystals in our body, the interstitium. Originally scientists thought that the mesentery, which is the webbing that holds things in and around the organs in our abdomen, they just thought it was just junk, basically. But they've discovered that the mesentery is another organ. It's been recognized as another organ, and it contains crystals because it's sensing in and around the abdomen, and it's giving feedback to the brain. And the gut itself is considered a second brain. Our gut biome is extremely important, and the gut biome actually can control your level of happy. If you have an upset tummy, you're not going to be happy because you're too busy worried about your tummy because it feels horrible. But we're going to give some extra TLC to the stomach. Small intestine. You're doing a beautiful job. Large intestine. Large intestine is also connected to the lung meridian. So if you're having breathing trouble and you're not being challenged by like specific molds or pollens or cat dander or something along those lines that you are, take a look at what you've just eaten. If you have food distress, it will show up because the large intestine is connected to the lung meridians. So we're going to balance those two. Beautiful. Oh, a little extra pamper for the pericardium, which is the sac that guards the heart. A little bit more for the lungs. Now we're going to spin that. Then we're going to do back up to the collarbone, right up the tummy. Center line of the tummy is called the conception meridian. So we're just going to allow that energy to flow in and around. Beautiful. Well done. Well done, everybody. Yep, pancreas and liver help. You got it. Yeah, the liver feels a lot better than it did. Randy may have fallen asleep quite a while back, but I'll have to see if our headache people are feeling better. You're very welcome. Now, if you are new to me, or you've just simply forgotten, because if it's easy, we tend to forget it, and that's because it's going at the speed of light, and so it's easy to forget. But all of the energies that we have on this is embedded, meaning that you can come back and you can re-listen to this to get energy help. Perfect. Just a little bit of extra joint help around the shoulders and the elbows. One of the things that you can do, people, is you can take your shoulder blades and then just rotate them back to open up the chest just a little bit. Sometimes we curl in on ourselves in order to protect our bodies, and we don't need to. So we can open up the chest. Okay, perfect. You need a little extra for that as well. Okay, I'm going to switch my slide here so we can focus on the crystals here. And Rush, I'm going to come back to the neck for you. Any messages? Nope. Rush, you might just try putting your jaw parallel to the floor. So sometimes we will look down a lot. So you just need to lift your chin up just a little bit. Don't overdo it. No need. And that will sometimes give your neck the space that it needs. It'll relax those muscles. And sometimes if you've done that for so long, like your head's been in flexion for so long, you'll have the muscles kind of seize up a little bit. Just wait it out. And they'll go ahead and relax again. But just giving you a heads up that can happen. Beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you, Gray. I thought that was gorgeous. Got some aquamarine points, some amethysts. Self-care is very important. And of course, self-love. And I love lavender and sage. Wawa Nui, Annie Bear. How are you? Much love. Much love. Wawa. Okay, I'm going to go back up to the eyes. Somebody's eyes feel like they need to have just a little bit more cleansing around it. I'm going to try to not. I keep seeming to do a little too much energy towards my my computer. It keeps blipping in and out. Utica, you're asking about the divine. I don't know about the specific blueprints from someone else, the activating term, but when you hear me doing the undoing and the doing, hi, Salrat. When you hear that happening, then I'm going over codes that are for the feminine codes of your DNA. I'm going over your masculine codes of the DNA, and I'm also going over your tatama, which is your high heart DNA or your child's DNA. Okay, so that's what those are specifically for, those particular light codes. Oh, Celerods is saying that Annie Bear did a great show. Ooh, cool. Cool. We'll have to go over on to, is it Terry at Holding Your Space? Awesome. Cool. Well, thank you for coming in. I'll have to go over there and check it out. Cool. Thanks, Salrot. Yeah, beautiful. Beautiful. Does that help, Utica? Right now, I'm doing a little bit of extra energy. We've already done the energy balancing for the body, but I am doing extra energy for the eyes themselves because somebody's got like a gritty, dry sensation around the eyes. So we're just going to get the tear ducts going on that to cleanse a little bit. This feels more like dust or grit or possibly pollen in the environment is what this is feeling like. You can also take like the contact lens, like saline solution. I put a few drops of those in order to cleanse your eyes. That can help. Very stressed. Oh. See if we can send a little bit of extra energy for you. Ooh, how pretty. I ordered lavender seeds online. Not sure if they'll grow in Mumbai, but hopefully they'll make it. Good luck. I love lavender. Gray, focusing on your left eye. Let's see. Oh. Huh, no, that's interesting. Okay, so I'm doing in and around the eye structure. Gray, I'm doing a little bit of extra right now on the left eye. But we're going to go back along the optic nerves themselves because there is congestion that's tracking back up under the base of the skull. So let's just get that vibrated out of there. Be also aware sometimes if you are emotional, you can have your eyes begin to struggle to see. And that's because you're not wanting to look at whatever is in your reality at the time. And I would suggest also for whoever this person is that you go back through the replay because we did a ton of codes at the beginning of this. And I think that that might help you to hear those codes to pop things loose for you. Both. Sure, absolutely. Carl, in that case, what you might do is practice sometimes where you just cover your left eye and then just practice with your right eye. Focus, seeing if you can get it to focus on, like, say, a glass that's on your table or a further away wall or close in, maybe a pencil, and then say there's a poster again on your other wall. But just keep trying for different distances. It doesn't have to be that long. Yeah, multiple problems with that one, lifelong. I'm hearing, I'm just going to say it, Gray, it may be something that you didn't want to look at from the father's lines. Oh, well, okay, Salrods. Thanks for stopping in. Seeing too much, yeah. And like I said, it's something that you have to take on board. You know, if, like I said, if there's a heavy pollen load in the sky, well, that's kind of direct consequence of that. So, my inner left hip, oddly sore. Okay, cool. I will send a little bit of extra energy to that for you, Annie Bear. Oh, you've been doing a ton of walking. Your feet. I can feel it in your feet, actually, Annie Bear. Yes, Gray, your father, the left side. I'm also hearing for Gray, uh, self, again, with the self care and the self love. Apparently, you're not focusing on yourself. So make sure that you're doing TLC of yourself as well. A little bit of extra pampering. Yeah, right now I'm on the left hip. Yeah, I can feel the inner hip, but it's actually needing some pressure from the outer hip. And that might be what's leading to that inner hip as well. You've done a lot of walking though. That could be it too, Annie Bear. It could just be that you've done enough walking that your body is just adapting to the newer level of whatever you're doing. I mean, it's showing me your feet walking, but it could also be other things that you're playing with. I mean, sometimes we pick up a new activity and then like days later, it's like, whoa, my hand doesn't feel that awesome, or whoa, what happened to my back? You're welcome. Great. Okay. Does anybody else need any extra TLC in any particular body part? We've already done, and that's just it. I've already done the full meridians for all. So if you've come in and you've missed the beginning of that, you can certainly listen to the replay to go ahead and get some more of it. And since we've had so many new people, I'm just going to run through the light codes again real quick. Tihe, mori, ora, mahaka watahi ite ingwa te to iri te o otabwana. Wai watabu. Ite ingwa ta fenui trarani te katao. Wai watabu. Ite ingwa ta faya tama tutatama. Wai watabu. Tihe, mori, ora. Utica, these are the light codes that I was talking about for the feminine, the masculine, and the child DNA activations. There we go. Oh, you are so welcome. Agreed. Wishing you a great week ahead. Yay. Beautiful. Yeah, Annie Bear, you might actually enjoy going through the replay. Whenever I get the timestamps on here, you'll be able to see we did quite a lot of different techniques. And this week I played around with the codes for what's called the Poata, which is the slow rising pillar of light. And again, it usually is one that you will see being done instead of actually being spoken. So I was playing with the Poata and changing the codes around, and apparently it jacked up my energy system because I really keep messing with my poor camera. And so what it does is it's moving things in and around your environment, and it's collapsing the filters, the distortion filters that were put into place around our planet and around us, quite frankly. So you're so welcome, Rush. I'm so happy. You're very welcome, Utica. Well, I sincerely hope that that's been beneficial for you. Utica, did you ever get the opportunity to play with the neem? Just looking over my notes right quick, but I think I covered everything I needed this week. Yay. Yeah, I'm definitely going to be replaying Annie Bear's show. Go see how you did. It's always fun to see you with Terry. Can you let me know a trusted website where I can buy a kyanite? Not available, but my sister-in-law is here, so I will ask her to order and bring. Oh, thank you, Carl. I appreciate that. Okay, sure. Honestly, Yuka, I don't know because I got my kyanite in a bead store. So we have different rock stores here. There not very many of them, but I physically went into a store to get my own. Mostly because I wanted to pick my own stones out. Oh, you're very welcome, Gray. Yeah, according to Carl, I can't see it, but apparently on your side, I'm thinking YouTube is maybe doing something so that people feel like they've had more interactions. Maybe I don't know, almost like a video game or something. But they apparently have like a crown and different colors and some sort of I don't know, an experience score or something like that. Okay, they are around Linwood, and I will be going to Alaska. So anything there? Cool. I have to be careful around a. I have to be very careful around a rock store. I have always been deeply attracted to crystals, and so yeah, it's like a kid in a candy store. I have to kind of watch myself with that. Don't think I had another slide in here, but oh, I did. Look at that. How about that? You too, Crystal Ascension. Well, I know, right? There are so many of them. And so this upcoming week, we'll say just lean into a bit more of your friendship. Make sure that you're having fun with your besties. Same here. At times, crystals. I know. I love the crystals. I love the crystals. They're so fun. And I've been known to just grab regular rocks too. In fact, that was one that I found last week. I had squirreled away some of my fairy rocks. So. Oh, be. Everybody got purple crowns today. Well, why not? Step into our sovereignty. Not so cool. Yay. Ooh, how pretty. I got a shungite for water and I've used it for 2 days. Did that cost? No. I don't think so, Utica. The only thing you're going to get from shungite is going to be usually that you're just going to get a power up feeling. You're going to feel like you've just got light. Huh? No more crown. No more purple. I wonder if they were just trying it out for an hour or so or something, because we've just come over an hour marker. I think YouTube is doing a lot of different changes right now, playing around with the displays and everything. In my caca. Are you? Yeah, like it's just kind of humorous because we are in the month of caca. But that's like our crows. Our crows are really into shinies. I guess it's because of the number of interactions. That's the only thing I can guess, is that they're kind of playing around with something like that. I duck a lot, so I have a crown. Utica's finding her voice, being a chatty caca. Yay. Now, just remember this week, like I said, if you're encountering some really unusual energies or you're low energy this week, remember to bring in that rod of light that will come all the way from the central sun through your body and into Mother Earth. And so it's going to be huge and sparkly and effervescent and charge right through your energy system. That way you're plugged into central sun, and you can have that energy system be protective around your own bubble. Cool. So Crystal Ascension is going to have her birthday then, or their birthday, on July 26th. That's definitely a caca. That is so cool. Next time I will try to be here for the first 5. Yeah. Yeah, that's for our energy reading, or not our energy reading. It's for the oracle card reading for the week. Oh, and our Stargate this month is going to be Alpha Centauri. That's Ta'u. Or Ta'u. Let's see. No, I got it right. Ta'u. A, and then a dash, and then a U. That would be so cool. 70 clicks around the sun. I'll post it later, but it's going to be 285 hertz this month. And it's not anybody that's seeing any of the stuff that's like for the chakras or for the frequencies. These are just things that are supportive. You don't have to focus on them. Okay, Carl, thank you for being here. We're probably going to be hopping off here pretty soon too, because I want to go check out any. Go check out any of your show. Okay, everybody. For those that are in America this week, America is having her birthday on July 4th. And so if you have any pets, I do have a video already posted on my channel. And it will be for the energy support for the animals. You can place them in an interior room. I like to place on either a fan or a low radio. And so you could put that video that I have on a loop for them. It was designed with calming, soothing energies for the animals. And it was specifically designed for the fireworks that are going to be coming up this week. You already know it's going to happen. So try to keep your kitty cats inside, because a lot of times with the animals, if they get panicky, they can run. So yes, prevention is definitely worth it. It's worth a pound of cure is what I'm hearing. 44, that's a power year, Utica. Happy birthday. And happy birthday upcoming to Crystal Ascension as well. That'll be great. Alrighty, everybody. So I'm going to go ahead and head on out of here. I feel something big is happening, so avoid crowded places. Agreed. If you can, usually this time of year is for focus on families and your communities. And I wouldn't go anywhere near huge crowds of people right now. For one thing, not to be mean, but sometimes people, at least in America, they get into their celebrations a bit too much, and then they get sloppy around fireworks. And even though they say they know what they're doing, sometimes they do not. And so if you're not around them, then you can avoid that. So just keep an eye on, like I said, if you could, just keep an eye on your pets. That's the other thing, is you don't want them harmed because they don't understand. So on my end, yeah. Well, it happens every year. You know, you get a crowd of people together, and a lot of times they'll party too hard. I don't know why, but sometimes parties take on a life all their own. Woo. It gets kind of scary sometimes. But I think it's going to be a really nice, have a really sweet 4th of July, which is America's birthday. And so we'll have celebrations going on here. And of course, anywhere else in the Northern Hemisphere right now, we are pretty much in summertime. So pay attention to the heat. If you're outside in the heat and the weather and everything, be sure you put a hat on top of your head so that you don't end up cooking the top of your head with the sun. But do pay attention. Keep yourself hydrated with water. And take your time. Just because sun has arrived doesn't, you can take your time, ease into the idea of being in the sun and the heat. Take breaks. Yep. Peace, love, and rock and roll. Heck yeah. Awesome. Well, thank you so, so much, everybody, for being here. And it's been a lot of fun. This has been a really, really fun session today. So I hope that you will come back and listen to the replay. Again, there is a resource available for you if you have pets, or if you want to use it yourself. The soothing and animal energy healing is under the video tablet. There's only 3 videos that I have on there, and so truthfully, you could run any of those. But that one specifically was crafted last year for our animal friends for the 4th of July festivities, and so that helps with fireworks. Or if you know that there's going to be like a thunderstorm or something, you can use that also for the thunderstorm. And since my poor video keeps zipping in and out on my side, I'm going to go ahead and call it a day. And thank you, one and all. Thank you so much, Huna Hamanisa. And again, enjoy the Lemurian Light Codes, enjoy the energy healing, and enjoy the festivities that are going to happen this week. And it's summer. So just have some fun with it. Okay, well, everybody. I will see you next week. Bye.